DBJ here for another part of my cinematic RPG series. And this one is going to involve the 3 acts. And if you know from if you've looked at any of the videos that I watch on YouTube and Google Plus, so I'm a huge movie fan, and I use a lot of movie genre and jargon in my games. I love, flashbacks and fade to black and slow-mo and close-ups and things like that, and I use all those in my games. So this one's going to be about the 3 acts, like 3 acts of a play. And the 3 acts are the beginning, the middle, and the end. And that seems pretty simple, really. You start a game, you have the beginning, you have your middle, you have your end. And we're used to, hey, we meet in a tavern, okay, that's the beginning. You go through the dungeon, that's the middle. You fight the big bad guy, that's the end. But I'm going to be a little bit more specific. And what I mean by 3 acts is the beginning should be established where the characters are the professionals. They are the best. They can do no wrong in the eyes of the gaming world. They are the experts. During the first act, I either make the difficulties extremely low or I just automatically assume they succeed. If you're a wizard, you automatically succeed at the research center. If you're a thief or some kind of assassin or something, you automatically sneak around and pick somebody's pocket. If you're the fighter, you automatically win a barroom brawl. I don't make any difficulties very hard. I want to establish when my game first starts that they are who they are because they are the heroes. They are very good at what they do. If your character is charismatic and diplomatic, hey, the ladies love you. You sell ice to Eskimos. You're awesome. And I mean, maybe I'm going a little overboard with it, but what I want to establish is that when the game starts, the difficulty level is going to be low because I want the player characters to understand that they have succeeded in their chosen endeavor. They are very good. If they're a ranger, they are the best there is, hunting and fishing and hiding in the woods and whatnot. And then the middle part, Act 2, is where the difficulty level increases because now they are choosing to challenge themselves. I'm allowing them to encounter creatures and people and obstacles and natural elements that are, to them, far more difficult than they would, say, back at the home village or whatever, or home city. And so now the difficulties are like the 50-50s, the 60-40 success-failure rates. And this is the time when they find items of magic and they find out little details about the game world, and so there's a reward in it. So now that they have the difficulty, now they're getting a reward back out of it, whether it's information and experience. And then, of course, Act 3 is the climax. That is the do or die situation. That is the bad guy hits me 3 times and my character is dead. I need to come up with a way to fight them. We need to work together as a team and establish ourselves that, hey, let's prove from Act 1 that we're the best. Let's prove right now why it is we are the best at what we do. And of course, you have the end of the game, you have your treasures, you have your experience points, boom, they get better. The next game, I start the process all over again. But what you want to do, not what you want to do, this is what I do, is that I usually run my games in generally 3 parts. The beginning is the characters are the experts, they're the best at what they do. I don't give them a hard time about too many things. Even though there can be some characters that, the douchebag Steves that show up with characters that are just like overpowered. Fine, when the game starts, yeah, you're the best. I give everybody that opportunity to specialize and to be a character that is the best at what they do, because that's kind of escapism. Hey, I already suck as a human being. Why should I suck as in my player character? So But then when part 2 and part 3 comes, that's when the characters have decided to engage in difficult activities. So again, for this part of CSI, this part of cinematic RPG gaming, it's 3 parts. Make your first part pretty easy. Make it so that the characters can really shine. Give them a bunch of skill difficulties, and let them encounter some things where you as a game master or dungeon master has decided that they're going to win. They're pretty much going to blow through it. You don't have to tell them that. I don't say that I'm going to let them do it, but I pretty much give it to them. Hey, if the thief wants to make a connection to get some black market, items or something, I usually give them a contact. If they're a cleric and they need to go to their religious order, I make people, trip over themselves. Like, oh wow, you're the famous so-and-so, and you've been on many trips. Please tell us about your adventures and how the gods have spoken to you and how they channel their power through you. Please tell us about it. I'd love to hear about it. And just make them feel good about why they've made the choice to make the kind of character that they did. Thank them. This is your opportunity as a game master in part 1 to thank the players for creating the characters that they did for your game. If your players have gone out of their way to make characters fit into your game, say thanks. And thanks is making them be the best at what they are. It doesn't have to last for 5 hours of them being the best and walking all over your game. It's just an idea of letting them know that yes, they are the best archer. Yes, they are the big barbarian that's scary when they walk into the bar. So 3 parts. This one isn't going to be too long. 3 parts. First part's easy. Second part's medium difficulty. Last part's hard. That's where the climax is at. Seems real simple, but if you just follow the simple principles, I guarantee you'll have really good games. So thanks, DVJ. I'm out, and as always, be creative, not a destroyer.